Hi, this is Gary Jordan, and I haven't done a video in a long time, but I wanted to discuss something that will take a little more time to write on Twitter than I feel like doing, so I'm going to do a video instead. Um, and that is the topic is going to be uh, energy, energy use, how it affects the disabled, and what I'm learning in my Bitcoin journey in relationship to that, to the subject of energy. We'll start off with a frank admission. Um, my views on energy have changed quite a lot in the last month or so. Uh, Not only have I been legally blind since a kid and totally blind for the last 4.5 years or so, um, but I've been a lifetime environmentalist. I still believe in the notion of stewardship as a Christian, as a Catholic, as someone who is a disciple of Christ. I believe that the Creator gave us humans one of our responsibilities is to take care of the world and to not harm it. I mean, it's our home. It was created for us to be our home. As such, I do believe that caring for the earth is part of our job. And we're the only species that is capable, especially at this point, of messing up our home in a fantastic way. So I do believe the subject matter is important. Um, but recently, I've come to understand a few things about fossil fuels, in particular that I did not, in solar and wind, that I didn't understand while I was growing up. When I was a teenager, in junior high, the first time I saw a solar powered device, I thought that was really cool. It was a, I can't even remember, it was a trinket, it was a toy, basically. But it was powered by the sun. And I got to see my first solar calculator not too long after that. And it was a cool thing. The idea that I put the calculator in the sun, in the screen, a number would show up and I could do simple calculation. Very, very cool. Very magical. But I didn't know what it was made out of. I didn't know where the materials were from. I didn't know the environmental costs of those materials. I just knew that there was no bellowing smoke. People could breathe, the end users at least could breathe, and that sort of thing. And for me, that's kind of a big deal. Fast forward to today, and I understand that the materials are what they call rare earth minerals. They are very destructive to get their hands on, and that there are only a few places around the world that have them in abundance, like China. Um, and so it's not as straightforward as it was. I didn't understand anything about baseline power, about energy consumption for manufacturing stuff. We didn't have any of that here in the Antelope Valley where I grew up. It was a commuter town. Folks went into LA to work, and they came home here. It was a what is called a bedroom community at the time. It's less so now, but a lot of people still go to LA. And so I never saw the manufacturing. I had no way of knowing about that. So now I know baseline is a very important thing, how much energy you have as a baseline. As a sci-fi junkie, I was thinking in terms of nuclear power, fancy solar, and the sort of thing that they have in sci-fi novels. Mostly nuclear fusion, which we've yet to do. After 70 years of hyping it in these universities, nothing's happened yet, so I'm not expecting it. But now, how does that relate to disabled people? Well, disabled people, intellectually disabled, don't necessarily use a lot of stuff. But Blind people do. Take braille displays for one, earphones. Um, these are sunglasses earphones, which are kind of cool. Um, you've got CCTVs, which are basically a TV or a computer monitor that's attached to a device that allows you to put a book or objects underneath it. A magnifier, it blows it up to where you can see what's going on. For those that are low vision, have enough vision to play with that, I used to be able to. Not no more. Anyway, but so there are a lot of devices. Hearing aids, for example, use power. Um, for speech impaired people, you have what they call speech boards, which now can be an app, so you can put it on your tablet or a bigger smartphone. Preferably a tablet would be a better choice, so that people they can see the pictures and they can touch it, and when they touch it, it will verbalize what they want. So if there's a picture of a strawberry, it'll say, as the person who can't speak for whatever reason, um, whether it be intellectual disability, neuromuscular disability here, stroke, whatever, they can touch, like say, a strawberry, a picture of a strawberry, and it'll say strawberry. But all that takes power. Concentrated power that's reliable. And so, whether I like it or not, fossil fuels is probably going to end up being the power that I'm going to have to champion from now on. Because solar and wind won't cut it really for stuff like that. They're nice, they're good for weather stations and science stations where you have to be remote and cut off from the grid. They have other uses, I'm sure. Um, but for your baseline power, unfortunately, that's not going to be cut it. And the second thing that I've learned in the last day or so is that it's also the solar and wind energy model is used to hold back third world countries from developing. So they can't compete with the U.S. empire. And that's wrong. That's totally wrong, you know. Um, but how did Bitcoin fit in this? I learned some of this because of the energy part about, oh, Bitcoin miners use too much energy. Well, there's constructive uses of energy, like what I was talking about for the disabled. Your CCTVs, your braille displays, your hearing aids, your wheelchairs, your beach boards on your iPad or iPhone, smartphone or a tablet. Any number of stuff like that. And then you have your more frivolous uses, like your Christmas lights and things like that. Nice and fun, but still frivolous. But Bitcoin securing the best money in the world is definitely a useful use of energy. And so we have to have that strong energy. So that's just kind of, and Bitcoin promises, there is a promise by some of the miners that in the process of securing the network and finding the cheapest power sources there is in the world, they're going to be able to do forms of energy that we have yet to discover, or forms like ocean thermal energy conversion, OTEC, and make that more viable. Energy sources that may have been invented and dreamed of 150 years ago, like OTEC. But now with a buyer of last resort, a.k.a. the Bitcoin miners, to secure the network, to secure the best money in the world. It's going to allow for the development of really cheap energy. And California, much as I thought wind and solar was the answer, I'm beginning to have a epiphany and an understanding that hurts. That no, it's not. It's cool, it's magical, it's nifty. I mean, we're surrounded by it. And it's sad we can't concentrate it in an environmentally safe way. But if we can't do that, we can't do it. And I have to come to terms with that. So do we all. And we have to come up with policies and choices that are better. Does that mean that fossil fuels are great? No, they've got problems. You got air pollution, which is a serious problem, basically for asthmatics, and there are quite a few people that have it. I've got a little bit of it. My mom had it. Both my mom's sisters had it. So it runs in the family. So I know what asthma is. I know what it looks like. I know what it feels like. And so I really think we have to start thinking about energy. And I wanted to make this video. I know I'm rambling, and it's not very cohesive, but I think it's important to us to start putting these threads together. If we're going to have a viable society that sustains and supports all of its members, we have to have solid energy, reliable, cheap, portable, and flexible energy sources. And in fact, I don't like it at all. It hurts like hell. After promoting it and dreaming about it and thinking how cool it would be for the last 40 years. Well, maybe not, for the last 35 years. Solar and wind ain't gonna cut it. Nuclear might even have to start and rethink my position on nuclear. But we need to really think about these things. It's so important. And for disabled people to be able to be useful, to be helpful, we have to say, hey, this is the important thing. This is what we need to do. So I'm gonna have to stop rambling here, but I just wanted to tie those three things together. The other component to consider is that for a society to support and sustain our weakest members, our seniors, our disabled, our sick, the young children that are growing up, we have to have a strong, healthy society. Inflationary money like US dollars, the ruble, the yuan, the yen, the rupee, any and all your fiat currency isn't going to cut that. We need a non-inflationary money, a money that government can't control, including controlling narratives on important subjects like food and energy. We have to have Bitcoin, and that is our future. And while the transition, it could be very ugly, watching the disintegration of the fiat system will be painful, is necessary for us to have a future, including those of us that are physically and or intellectually disabled. So God bless everyone, and I hope this video hasn't been too much of a ramble. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. So have yourself a great day. Bye for now.